Hey, this is the video lesson for Algebra 2, Lesson 8.1, Inverse Variation. So in this lesson, we're going to recognize and use inverse variation, and then actually we don't get to the joint and other variations. We just stop with inverse. So inverse variation is when y equals some constant divided by x. This is the main one. And this is different than what you learned in Algebra 1 and earlier in this book. Direct variation, if you remember, is when it's y equals k times the number x. So it's direct because it's some constant times, and it's inverse because it's some constant divided by x. And these are other ways you'd see it. Okay, so the first question asks, it gives a table of values or points in a relation, and we're going to determine whether it is direct variation, inverse variation, or neither. Remember direct variation, for these we actually solve for k, and then you see if it's a constant, see if the k is the same. So for this one, the k is y divided by x, so we're going to make up a column for that. And then for inverse variation, we're going to use this one, x times y. So then we'll do a table like that. And then if in either of these columns we get the same number for the whole column, then this would be direct and this would be inverse. And then if we get neither, the answer would be neither. So here, right, we do 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. Here we do 7.5 divided by 4, which is not 7.5. It's this, so it's not direct. Right, they have to all be the same, so we can just stop after 2. And this one, 2 times 15 is 30. 7.5 times 4 is also 30. 10 times 3, also 30, 15 times 2. So this is going to be inverse variation. Okay? My spelling's bad, sorry. All right, and we're just going to do the same thing for these next two. Okay, and then for this one, this is y divided by x. I think I wrote k here. This is supposed to be x, right? So you're just taking this divided by this. And I did that for this y divided by x, and I did x times y. And here you can see these are not all the same, and these are not all the same. So it's going to be neither. And then we'll do C. Okay, and then here you can see that all of these are 3, which is my y divided by x, which is my direct variation. And for inverse variation, they're not all the constants, so this is direct. All right, so that's how you do this. Okay, and you know what I just realized I forgot? This says write function models for the direct and inverse variation. So since this is inverse variation, this means that the k is 30. So that means when you write it, and this is your function, y equals 30 over x. Okay, this is neither, so you don't need to write a function here. This is direct. So remember, direct is this y equals kx. And then my k here is 3. So the function is y equals 3x. Okay, sorry, I forgot that one. And there are 3 for you to try. How about we just do, I think you guys don't need to do all 3 of these. So why don't you just pick one. I'll do both. Just pick one, try it, and check back for the solution. Okay, and here, this one's direct, so this is y, oops, it's direct, so it's not 40 divided by x, it's y equals 40 times x, that's direct. Okay, and then neither, these two are both neither. This one looked like it was going to be inverse, but see, that last one did not match 8, so that was neither, and this was neither as well. Okay, so that's one way that they like to ask questions. You can figure out just based on a table. The second problem tells you that x and y vary inversely. They give you a point. That means you have to use that point to come up with the function, and then use that function to solve when x equals 10. Okay, so this says x and y vary inversely. So we know now that the relationship between x and y looks like this. Y equals some constant divided by x. Okay, and so when x is 4, y is 12, so just plug them in. 12 equals k divided by 4, and then solve for k. Multiply 4 by both sides, so k is 48. And so then we can write that the function is y equals 48 divided by x. Oh, I always do a k there, x. Okay, and then what is the value of y when x is 10? Then you just use your function, y equals 48 divided by 10, which is 4.8. So y equals 4.8 when x equals 10. Okay, so press pause and try this one on your own, same thing, and then check back for the solution. Okay, and hopefully that you got that y equals negative 28 when x equals 10, since k is negative 56. Okay, and then the last thing, we're going to use some data. There's like a little word problem here. The park cleanup project here, you have some students and how many minutes it takes them to clean up the park, right? With more students, less time. What function models this data? So what we want to do is see if this is inverse or direct, if they vary directly or inversely. Let's see, this is my, let's do, this is like my x and this is like my y. So let's do n divided by t, and then n times t. So this is going to be 3 divided by 85, which is, oh, let's go this way, sorry, n divided by t. So this one would be 0.0353, and then let's do 5 divided by 51, 0.9098. Okay, so it's not directly in, let's try inverse. 3 times 85, this is 255. 51 times 5, also 255. 21 times 12, 252. 15 times 17 equals 255. Okay, so I probably wrote one of those wrong, but we're going to call k 255. So y equals, and this is k divided by x, right? Because this is going to be inverse. It's inverse variation, right? And so my k is 255, so y equals 255 divided by x. And then how many students should there be to complete the project in at most 30 minutes each week, right? If you want t to be 30, right? You actually, sorry, this is wrong, right? It's not yx, right? In this case, my y is n and my x is t. So this is my function. Sorry about that. Be careful with that. Okay. And then, oops, my k is 255. So n equals 255 divided by t. There we go. Third times the charm. Okay. And then how many students should there be to complete the project in most 30 minutes? So we want n is number of students. 255 divided by 30 equals 8.5. Okay, so how many students should there be to complete the project in at most 30 minutes each week? 8.5 students, right? You couldn't do it with 8, so you need to go up 1, right? Because we're talking about people. So 8.5 people, not really a thing. So then we could call that 9 people. Okay, and this actually wasn't a typo, right? Because this has to be exact people. So this is why this is off. And so we can just use this as a model, right? Since it's usually 255. It doesn't have to be exact, but it's modeling to be inverse variation. Okay, so one for you to try on your own. Here, press pause, and then check back for the solution once you've tried it. Okay, and so here it looks like the k is really close to 225, so that's what I used. I used our original model, then I changed our n's and our t's. And just a reminder, time is always your independent variable, which is what your x is. That's how we know that which one's x and which one's y. Okay, and then we just plugged in 225 as k, and then plugged in 25 for our t, and got 9 students. And that's it. We're just going to stop after the third problem. Okay, so that's it. Enjoy.